We're here today to teach you everything you need to know about the new Canon XHA1 and G1 series high-definition cameras. Now remember, to access your menus, you're going to be pressing the menu button on the back of the camera and then using the select and set rotating knob, pushing up, it's a detent, and back to go up and down your menus, and then when you want to select something, you're going to push it actually inwards. So let's go ahead and take a look at our menus. Now, as I was just playing with it, I did go ahead and select a menu. I'm going to go back up to the top to go ahead and show you our major selections here. Let's go right into our recording setup. I'm going to press that select set in and go down the selection and tell you what they are in the recording setup menu. Now the first selection is DV record mode. That means for the standard DV mode, the lower resolution mode, I'm going to press that select set in, and I have two selections, the standard play mode or the long play mode. And that means, of course, that you've got 1 hour in the standard play mode on your standard DV tape, or if you want to go to LP, you can bump it to 2 hours, but remember that it is suggested that you record and play that tape in the same camera, because that is really sort of stretching the tape to its limit. So we're going to leave that in our SP mode there, standard play. Go down to user bit select, UB, and as we select that, we can put in any digits we'd like in these 4 sets of 2 digits. That means that this user bits is sort of like timecode, except it allows you to put in whatever numbers you'd like in those user bits and record it with the pictures that you're taking. And of course, if you want, instead of putting in whatever you'd like for those digits, representing whatever you might want to represent, you could go ahead and select the time or date for those digits. So right now, those user bits, instead of just whatever I might want to put in, will be selected to put the time in at the bottom, the actual time. And if I wanted to, I could put the date in as well. Let's go down to the next, and that's image quality. Now this is referring to still images. As I go in there and select it, superfine, fine, and normal are the selections. These are actually the compression ratios applied to the image as you take it. When it compresses it down into a JPEG image, it has to reduce the amount of information. And when it does that, you have the choice of either going with a normal setting. You can see the stair step showing a sort of cruder representation, the little jaggies there, showing you that you could take 1,032 images on this internal card right now with a normal compression ratio. But if you were wanting to get a higher quality, you could go ahead and go to the fine, and you can see the numbers reduce on the top right to only 525 images right next to the little picture of the SD card there. And if your quality was super critical and you wanted the best possible image, you'd go to the super fine, and that of course results in a larger file size and smaller amount of images that you can hold on your given SD card. Remember, buy the biggest card you can afford. That'll give you the maximum amount of images at the highest resolution. And like I said, that depends on what you're going to be shooting. If you're going to shoot 500 shots of kids at a school, take everybody's picture, you might want to go with the fine so you have enough room on your card. I'm going to leave it at fine right now. Here's our HD image size. I go down to that, push it in to select it, and what this is when you are in the HD mode or DV mode, that's going to also sort of dictate the type of, the size of the still image you're taking. So when you're in HD mode and you're in still camera mode, you're going to have a selection of these 2 image sizes basically, the LW or SW, and of course the larger one's going to result in a higher quality image, but give you much less images on the screen. You can think of it this way. When you're at the lower resolution image, to go to this one right here that is more than twice the resolution, it takes almost 4 times the data on the card. So you can see that the amount of images you can take goes down from 2,500 almost to 500 in the much larger resolution size. But then again, if you've got a large card, usually 500 pictures would be enough pictures to handle any event that you might be shooting. So you want to shoot in the highest resolution that you can afford to shoot in with the size of card you've got and the amount of pictures you have to take for the day. And 525 might be an amount for a wedding. Let's go down to the last selection here on recording setup, and it is file numbering. And basically you've got 2 selections, reset or continuous. Reset is where when you dump the images out and you do a formatting of the card or put a new card in, it will reset the file number images on the images to 0 such that it numbers each of them sequentially on the card. I prefer continuous because I'd like to know how many images I've taken overall with the unit, with the camera, with the Canon. So This way, the numbers will continue to increment throughout the time you take pictures with the Canon. The other very positive thing about using continuous is later when you, say, have all of these images on your hard drive and you want to make a montage or a slideshow with all kind of different images from different shots you've taken, well, you're not going to have a duplicate name. If you reset every time, then you're going to have a number one file again that's named exactly the same as another one, which you might want to put in the same slideshow, causing a little bit of a problem. So there we go. When we get to the bottom of the menu, it'll have a return. Now some of these menus have extra menus, more than one page, and the bottom will continue to the second one. So that's our recording setup menu.